We're paying full benefits to a black janitor who can't even clean a window properly. The white CEO's voice carries down the marble hallway. His Italian shoes stop inches from her cleaning cart. 20 employees freeze at their desks. The black woman in the Navy uniform keeps scrubbing, doesn't look up, doesn't speak. He smirks, turns to his executives. This is the problem. We're wasting money on people who don't matter. 15 years she's been invisible, mopping his floors, emptying his trash, listening to every word, watching every move. He thinks she's nothing. He's about to learn he's wrong, because in 72 hours, everything he believes about power, about control, about who matters and who doesn't, all of it will shatter, and the woman holding the mop will be the one standing when it's over. If you've ever been invisible because of your skin, your job, or your paycheck, this story is yours. Don't look away. The building is quiet at 11 p.m. That's when Wendy Owens clocks in. Badge number 003, the oldest employee ID in the system, 15 years, 5,400 nights. Nobody's ever asked why her number is so low. She pushes her cart through the service entrance on Pine Street, Portland, Oregon, March 2024. The cart's left wheel squeaks. She's reported it to maintenance 4 times. They never fix it. She's stopped asking. Evergreen Properties, LLC, 12 stories of glass and steel in the downtown financial district. Built 1994. Every floor, every window, every executive suite. She knows them all. Her uniform is navy blue. Wendy, embroidered over the pocket in white thread. The fabric is worn thin at the elbows. She's requested a replacement twice. HR said they'd order one. That was 8 months ago. The marble floors on 11 shine under fluorescent lights. That's her work. She buffs them every Tuesday and Friday. Uses the industrial polisher stored in the basement, 26 pounds. Her back aches after, but the floors are perfect. Executive suites empty by 6 p.m. Conference rooms go dark. Only security guards and custodial staff remain. And cameras nobody watches. She hums sometimes while she works. Gospel hymns her father taught her. His eye is on the sparrow. Precious Lord, take my hand. Nothing loud. Just enough to fill the silence. Her voice is low, warm. She learned those songs in a church basement in Northeast Portland 30 years ago, before her father got sick, before he died, before he left her something nobody knew about. Her phone buzzes at 2 a.m. Ashley, her granddaughter, 19 years old, sophomore at Portland State University, nursing program, Dean's List both semesters. Grandma, you eating? I had dinner, baby. Liar, what did you eat? Wendy smiles. Sandwich. From yesterday. I'm bringing you food tomorrow. You have class at 8. And you work till 7. We'll figure it out. This is why Wendy works nights. $16 an hour. 12 after taxes. Enough to cover Ashley's textbooks, lab fees, gas for the 2006 Honda Civic they share. Not tuition, Ashley has loans for that, but enough to keep her fed, safe, focused. Ashley's mother, Wendy's daughter, died 6 years ago. Car accident on I-5. Drunk driver. Ashley was 13. Wendy took her in, raised her, worked doubles to keep her in school. Now Ashley's going to be a nurse, first person in their family to finish college. That's worth every late shift, every aching knee, every executive who looks through her like she's furniture. Maria Gonzalez works floor 8, custodial staff, 9 years. They take lunch together at 2:30 a.m. in the basement break room. The fluorescent light flickers. The coffee machine is from 1998. They drink it anyway. You hear about the layoffs? Maria asks. Wendy nods. 5 people. Gone. Just like that. Anderson bought a Tesla, Maria continues. Black one. Saw it in the executive garage. $80,000 minimum. Steven Anderson, CEO, 42, 3 years at Evergreen. Came in promising growth, efficiency, innovation, delivered stock buybacks and executive bonuses instead. We're still making $16 an hour, Maria says. Same as 2019, 5 years, no raise. Wendy sips her coffee, says nothing. It's not right. No, it's not. But Wendy's been watching longer than Maria knows, watching everything. At 3 a.m., she returns to floor 11, the executive floor. Corner offices with city views, leather chairs, glass desks, the conference room where Anderson fired 5 people this morning, and the portrait. She stops in front of it every Tuesday, polishes the brass plaque beneath the frame. The plaque reads, James Robert Owens, founder, 1994. The man in the portrait wears a hard hat, stands in front of steel beams, sunlight behind him, proud, hopeful, strong, her father. Nobody looks at him anymore. Executives walk past 20 times a day. They see the year, read founder, keep walking. Wendy polishes the brass until it shines, touches the frame, just for a second. He used to say, "Honest work is never invisible. People see more than you think." She didn't understand then. She does now. Every night, same routine. Clean, polish, watch, remember, until March 15th, the day everything changes. March 15th, 9:30 a.m. Wendy's finishing the conference room on 11. The morning executive meeting just ended. Coffee cups sit abandoned, pastry crumbs on china plates. The smell of expensive cologne still hangs in the air. She's wiping the glass table when the door opens. 5 people walk out. No, they stumble. 2 are crying. A man in his 40s carries a cardboard box. His hands shake. A woman holds tissues to her face, mascara streaking. 3 others follow, silent, ghost pale. Anderson's voice carries through the open door. Clinical, cold. "We appreciate your contributions, but the company is moving in a new direction. Severance packages will be emailed. Security will escort you out." The door closes. The 5 people pass Wendy. Nobody makes eye contact. She's not there. Just part of the furniture. The help. She keeps wiping. The glass squeaks under her cloth. 22 minutes later, 9:52 a.m. Anderson walks down hallway 11B. Italian leather shoes clicking on marble. 3 executives trail behind him, laughing at something he said. Wendy is cleaning the glass wall near the elevators. She sees his reflection approaching. Doesn't turn around. He stops, right behind her. "You missed a spot," his voice carries. "Wants an audience." Wendy turns. "Where, sir?" He points vaguely at the glass. "There." She looks. The glass is spotless. She's cleaned these windows for 15 years. She knows every inch. Anderson raises his voice. Makes sure the hallway hears. "We're paying full benefits to a black janitor who can't even clean a window properly." Silence drops like a hammer. 20 employees are in hallway 11B. 6 visible through office windows. 12 walking with files, coffee, phones. 2 waiting for elevators. Everyone hears. Everyone freezes. Anderson turns to his executives, performs for them. "This is what I mean about cutting costs. We're wasting money on people who don't contribute, replaceable assets." 3 executives laugh, nervous, obligatory. 12 employees look at their shoes. 6 pretend they didn't hear. Wendy doesn't respond, doesn't blink, doesn't cry. She turns back to the glass, sprays cleaner, wipes, slow, methodical, perfect. Her hands tremble, just barely. She can feel it. Nobody else can see it. Anderson walks past the founder's portrait. Doesn't glance up. Never does. Wendy does. Looks straight at her father's face. 5 seconds. Long enough to remember. 90 seconds later, her phone buzzes. Maria, text message. "I heard everything. Channel 12 was open. I'm so sorry." The janitorial radio system. Used for supply requests. Someone left Channel 12 active. Maria heard it all from floor 8. Wendy doesn't reply. Just puts the phone away. She finishes the glass. Moves to the next window. Cartwheels squeak. Left side. Still broken. Nobody apologizes. Nobody checks on her. Nobody says a word. By lunch, the story spreads. Whispered in break rooms, texted between cubicles. Everyone knows, everyone heard, nobody does anything. That night, 11:15 p.m., Wendy sits in the basement storage room. Concrete walls, exposed pipes, the hum of the HVAC system overhead. She pulls out her phone, scrolls to a contact she hasn't called in 15 years. Thomas Bailey, attorney, labor and employment law. They met at church. He handled her father's estate, the will, the paperwork she couldn't understand at the time. She stares at his name for 30 seconds, then presses call. 3 rings. A man answers, voice deep, measured, careful. "Miss Owens, I was wondering when you'd call." Wendy closes her eyes. "How did you know?" "Because I've been watching the same things you have, and I knew eventually you'd stop waiting." "I need to talk about my father's company." "I know. When can you meet?" "Tomorrow, after my shift." 7 a.m., coffee shop on Hawthorne. I'll bring the file." He pauses, then, "Wendy, it's time." She hangs up, sits in the silence. The fluorescent light flickers overhead. Somewhere 12 floors above her, Anderson is probably working late. Corner office, floor-to-ceiling windows, $80,000 car waiting in the garage. He thinks he owns this building. Tomorrow morning, he's going to learn the truth. March 17th, 2 days after the hallway. Wendy wakes up at 2 p.m. 6 hours of sleep. Not enough, but it never is. Her phone shows 17 missed notifications. She scrolls through them. 14 are from coworkers. Forwarded emails, all the same one. Sent yesterday at 2:32 p.m. from s.anderson@evergreenproperties.com. Subject, Operational Efficiency Update. She opens it. 3 paragraphs of corporate language, synergy, streamlining, optimizing human capital allocation. But 2 phrases jump off the screen. Non-essential personnel. Replaceable assets. Nobody is named. Nobody needs to be named. Every custodian, every maintenance worker, every security guard knows exactly who he means. The email went to all 150 employees, management, department heads, board members, everyone. 4 people forwarded it to Wendy separately within 2 hours. No message, just the forward. Solidarity without risk. She deletes it. Gets ready for her shift. March 19th, Thursday, 3 p.m. Wendy's phone rings. She's been asleep 4 hours. Miss Owens? A woman's voice. Professional. Scripted. Yes? This is Jennifer from Human Resources. We're adjusting some schedules to better align with operational needs. Starting Monday, your shift changes to 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. Wendy sits up. 3 a.m.? Correct. Will you be able to accommodate this change? Why? Operational efficiency, as outlined in the recent email communication. The night shift, when nobody's here except us. You're changing it to day shift. The decision has been finalized. We need your confirmation by end of day Friday. Wendy thinks fast. Ashley, class at 8 a.m. They share one car. If Wendy works 3 to 11, she can't drive Ashley to school. The bus adds 90 minutes each way. Ashley will miss morning labs. I need to think about it. Friday, Miss Owens, 5 p.m. The line goes dead. Wendy doesn't sleep the rest of the day. March 21st, Maria texts at 10:43 a.m. They called me into HR. Threatened to fire me if I keep talking to you outside work. Wendy calls immediately. Maria answers, voice shaking. They said I was spreading rumors, creating workplace hostility. What rumors? They wouldn't say. Just told me any further fraternization with you outside work hours would result in termination. That's illegal retaliation. I know. But I have 3 kids, Wendy. I can't afford lawyers. I can't lose this job. I understand. I'm sorry. Don't be. This isn't your fight. But Maria's not the only one. Carlos, custodian floor 6, 5 years, gets written up for incomplete cleaning protocols. Spots he supposedly missed. Nobody can show him where. Lynn, maintenance, basement level, 8 years, receives a formal warning for unsatisfactory performance. No specifics. No prior complaints. Nothing. Both violations go in their permanent files. One more strike and they're terminated. The message is crystal clear. Associate with Wendy Owens and you're next. March 23rd, Saturday, 7 a.m., Hawthorne Coffee Shop, small place. Acoustic music playing, smell of espresso and cinnamon rolls. Thomas Bailey sits in the back corner. 51 years old. Gray temples, wire-rimmed glasses, leather briefcase older than Wendy's car. He stands when she approaches. Orders her tea without asking. Black tea, no sugar. He remembers from 15 years ago. They sit. Bailey sets the briefcase on the table, opens it, pulls out a folder, yellow with age, Oregon Corporation Commission seal stamped on the cover. You've been patient, he says. 15 years, why now? Wendy wraps both hands around her cup. The ceramic is warm. Because he called me a black janitor who can't clean windows, in front of 20 people, on camera. Hallway 11B, March 15th, 9:52:33 a.m. She looks up sharp. You already have it? Bailey slides a printed screenshot across the table. Timestamp visible. Camera 24. 6 employees in frame. Anderson's mouth open mid-sentence. Wendy's back to camera, cloth in hand. SecureGuard LLC handles your building security. When I mentioned documenting workplace harassment, they were very cooperative. He taps the image. This is receipt number 3, Wendy. We're going to need more. How many more? Enough that nobody can claim this was isolated. Enough that the pattern is undeniable. Wendy sips her tea. What do you need from me? Everything you've seen, every email, every conversation, every policy change, every threat, every dollar that doesn't add up. That's a long list. I know. That's why we're going to win. Bailey opens the yellow folder. Inside, documents Wendy hasn't seen since her father's funeral. Stock certificates, bylaws, shareholder registry, her name at the top. Wendy Elizabeth Owens, 87%. The number sits between them like a bomb. I saw a board email from 2019, Bailey continues. Subject line, silent shareholder issue. They know who you are. They've always known. They were hoping you'd never exercise your voting rights. Why would they hope that? Because if you're silent, they control everything. Contracts, salaries, bonuses, all of it flows through board approval. But if you show up, I can override them. Not just override, you can remove them. Wendy stares at the registry, her father's signature at the bottom. June 12, 1994, the day he founded Evergreen Properties. There's something else, Bailey says. He flips to a page near the back, Section 7.3, Company Bylaws. Your father put in a safeguard. Majority shareholders, that's you, with 87%, have authority to remove officers for cause. No board vote required. No advance notice. You mean, if you can prove Anderson violated his fiduciary duty, you can fire him yourself. Walk into a board meeting and end his employment on the spot. Wendy reads the clause 3 times. The words don't change. Does he know about this? Nobody knows. It's buried on page 46 of a 60-page document nobody's read since 1994. When do we start? Bailey smiles, grim, determined. We already did. Bailey pulls out a second folder, thinner, newer. Let me tell you who Wendy Owens really is. He opens it. Inside, a timeline. Photographs, legal documents. June 1994, your father, James Robert Owens, was a civil engineer. 43 years old, black man in Portland trying to build something permanent. He partnered with 4 others to develop this building. 12 stories. Downtown location, commercial real estate. Bailey slides over a photo. 5 people standing in front of steel framework. Her father in the center, hard hat, proud smile. He put in 60% of the capital, took out a second mortgage, worked 18-hour days. The building opened January 1995. Another document, the original shareholder agreement. James Owens, 60%, 4 partners split the remaining 40. One of those partners was Gloria Davis. She still sits on the board. Wendy's finger stops on the name. I remember her. She came to Dad's funeral. She did, and she's the only board member who didn't sign the 2019 email about keeping you quiet. Bailey flips pages. Your father ran Evergreen for 14 years, built it into a profitable property management company. Then 2008 happened, financial crisis, he got sick, pancreatic cancer, stage 4. Wendy's throat tightens. She was there. She remembers. He died February 2009, left everything to you, his only child, 87% of the company. I didn't want it. I didn't know anything about running a business. You didn't have to run it. That's what the board was for. But your father put Section 7.3 in the bylaws for a reason. He wanted to make sure the real owner always had final say. Bailey leans forward. So here's my question, Wendy. Why did you become a janitor in your own father's building? She's quiet for a long time. Outside, Portland morning traffic hums past. Someone laughs at the counter. The espresso machine hisses. Because I wanted to see it from the bottom, she finally says. Dad always said, if you want to know how a building really runs, don't ask the CEO. Ask the janitor. So you applied for a custodial position. Under my maiden name, Wendy Ross, nobody made the connection. And you've been watching ever since. 15 years. Every executive who came through, every board meeting, every policy change. I wanted to see if they'd run it the way Dad intended. Which was? A place that treated people with dignity. All people. From the CEO to the custodian. And Wendy's jaw tightens. They didn't. Bailey closes the folder. Then it's time they remembered who actually owns this building. He pulls out a business card, writes a date on the back, May 3rd, 2024. That's the next board meeting, open session. Shareholders can attend. You're going to walk in there with this. He taps the shareholder registry. And this. He taps Section 7.3. And you're going to take your company back. What if they fight? They will. That's why we're spending the next 6 weeks building an airtight case. Every policy violation, every financial irregularity, every receipt that proves Anderson isn't just incompetent. He's criminal. You think he's stealing? I know he is. We just need to prove how much. Wendy stands. The yellow folder feels heavier than it should. What do I do now? Go back to work. Be invisible. Watch everything. Record everything. And Wendy? Bailey's eyes are steel. When we walk into that board meeting, we're not asking for changes. We're burning it down and rebuilding it right. She walks to her car, sits behind the wheel, looks at her reflection in the rearview mirror. A black woman, 58, tired eyes, work uniform and a bag on the passenger seat. Nobody would ever guess she owns an $8 million company. That's about to change. Bailey doesn't waste time. By Monday morning, he's already moving. First target, the emails. He hires Tech Recovery Solutions, Portland-based digital forensics firm. They specialize in corporate investigations, recovering deleted files, tracing digital footprints, finding what people thought they'd hidden forever. It takes them 4 days. April 2nd. Bailey calls Wendy. We got in. Into what? The server. Everything Anderson and the board deleted over the past 5 years. It's all still there. Metadata intact. Chain of custody documented. He sends her a file. 73 pages. Wendy scrolls through on her phone during break. Her hands start shaking by page 3. Email 1, dated March 2019. From Richard Taylor, board chair, to Stephen Anderson. Subject, silent shareholder issue. Body, Owens remains non-participatory. Legal confirms she has voting rights but hasn't exercised them in 10 years. Recommend we proceed with restructuring as planned. Keep her occupied, low profile. She doesn't understand corporate governance well enough to challenge us. Receipt number 5. Email 2. October 2021. Anderson to Taylor. Owens hasn't attended a single shareholder meeting since 2010. She clearly has no interest in active ownership. We're clear to proceed with the Clean Pro contract renewal at the rates discussed. Receipt number 6. Email 3. January 2023. Taylor to full board. Confirm, all major votes will route through the chair office. Owens shareholding will be treated as abstention unless she specifically objects in writing. To date, she has never objected. Every email shows the same pattern. The board knew exactly who Wendy was. They counted on her silence, built their entire strategy around it. Bailey's voice is cold when he calls back. They didn't just ignore you, they conspired to marginalize you. Is that illegal? It's breach of fiduciary duty. They're supposed to serve shareholder interests. Instead, they actively worked against the majority shareholder. That's grounds for removal. But the emails are just the beginning. Next, the board minutes. Bailey subpoenas 5 years of meeting records, gets them Thursday, starts reading. Something doesn't add up. The official minutes are clean, too clean. Every vote unanimous, every decision rational, every financial allocation perfectly justified. But the metadata tells a different story. He calls in a specialist, former FBI cyber forensics. She analyzes the files in 6 hours. These have been edited, she reports, heavily. She shows Bailey the evidence. File, board_minutes_2023q4.docs. Created February 15, 2024 at 3:42 p.m. Modified 12 times over 13 days. Final edit February 28th. Entire sections deleted. Version history still shows the ghost text. Original version mentioned, Clean Pro Solutions contract renewal at $85,000 monthly, 4 times market rate for comparable services. Edited version, contractor services renewed at competitive rates. Original. Owens shareholder status requires minimal communication per established protocol. Edited version. That sentence doesn't exist. Receipt number 7. They knew someone might look eventually, Bailey explains to Wendy, so they cleaned up the record, but they didn't know we could recover the original versions. Wendy sits in her car reading the deleted minutes. It's 4 a.m. She's on break. The city is dark around her. She feels sick. These people weren't just dismissive. They were actively covering their tracks. Next target, the money. Bailey files a motion with Circuit Court. Demands access to corporate financial records. Evergreen Properties LLC has shareholders. Shareholders have rights. One of those rights is seeing where their money goes. The board fights it. Hires Morrison and Klein LLP, big corporate firm. They file objections, claim financial records are proprietary, confidential, protected. Judge doesn't agree. Rules in Bailey's favor. April 18th. Orders the company to produce 5 years of bank statements, wire transfers, credit card records. The board has 10 days to comply. They comply on day 9, deliver 6 boxes of documents. Bailey starts reading, gets to box 3, stops, calls Wendy. We found it. Found what? Where the money's going. He spreads the evidence across his conference table. Bank statements, wire transfer receipts, account numbers, account ending in 3,829, Cayman Islands, open May 2020, $1.2 million transferred over 4 years. Source Evergreen Properties operating account. Description, consulting fees. But there's no consulting contract, no invoices, no work product, no consultant. Just money flowing out, $75,000 every quarter, like clockwork. Money laundering, Bailey says. Classic corporate theft. They're siphoning company funds offshore. Who's they? That's what we need to find out. It takes another week. Following the digital trail, the Cayman account routes through an intermediary, shell company called Global Finance LLC. No employees, no physical address, just a registered agent in Delaware. But the beneficial owner is listed in the corporate registry. Richard Taylor, board chair, receipt number 8. He's not even hiding it well, Bailey says. He probably thought nobody would ever look. But there's more. The Clean Pro Solutions contract, the one mentioned in the deleted board minutes. Bailey pulls the file, reads the terms. His jaw drops. $85,000 a month. For what? Wendy asks. Janitorial services, building-wide. That's $1.02 million a year. How much should it cost? Bailey shows her comparison bids. Portland market rates. Buildings of comparable size, average $18,000 to $22,000 monthly, $240,000 annually. Clean Pro is charging 4 times that. That's $1 million overcharge, Wendy says, per year. Over 4 years, that's $4 million stolen from your company. Where's it going? Bailey digs deeper. Clean Pro Solutions, owned by Daniel Morrison, Portland resident, age 45. Bailey runs his background, finds the connection. Daniel Morrison is the brother-in-law of board member Patrick Hayes. It's a kickback scheme, Bailey explains. Clean Pro overcharges the company. Hayes approves the contract. Morrison pays Hayes a rebate under the table. Taylor routes his cut through the Cayman account. And they've been doing this for years. Since 2020, right after Anderson became CEO. Receipt number 9. Wendy sits in silence. The numbers swim in front of her. 1.2 million, 4 million, all stolen. While she made $16 an hour cleaning the offices where they planned it. There's one more thing, Bailey says quietly. Your salary. What about it? Market rate for custodial work in Portland is $24 an hour. Living wage, you're making $16. Have been since 2019. They froze wages. Only for custodial and maintenance staff. Executive salaries increased 38% in the same period. Anderson personally went from $280,000 to $1.2 million. The math is brutal. Wendy's been underpaid $8 an hour for 5 years. That's $16,000 annually, $80,000 total. Multiply by 5 custodians. That's $400,000 in stolen wages. All while Anderson bought Teslas and Taylor moved money offshore. I want to throw up, Wendy says. Don't get angry, yet, because we're not done yet. Bailey makes one more call, this one to a friend at the Oregon Labor Bureau. Off the record, just asking questions. Hypothetically, Bailey says, if an employer systematically underpaid minority employees while inflating executive compensation, what would that look like? His friend is quiet for a moment. Then, wage discrimination, potentially a class action, definitely EEOC territory. What if the same employer retaliated against employees who complained? Then you're looking at multiple federal violations. Bailey hangs up, looks at Wendy. We have them. Financial fraud, wage theft, retaliation, breach of fiduciary duty, every piece documented, every transaction traced, every email recovered. He stacks the receipts on his desk. 9 so far, each one a nail in Anderson's coffin. This isn't just firing a bad CEO anymore, Bailey says. This is a criminal case. Federal prosecutors will want this. Wendy stares at the stack. 15 years of watching, waiting, recording, it's all here. Every crime, every lie, every stolen dollar. She thinks about Maria, about Carlos and Lynn, about the 5 people fired so Anderson could buy a car, about Ashley, working doubles to afford textbooks while Taylor moved millions offshore, about her father, the man who built this company with his own hands, who believed in treating people with dignity. They destroyed everything he built. Not anymore. When do we move? Wendy asks. Bailey checks his calendar. Board meeting is May 3rd, 3 weeks. That gives us time for one more thing. What's that? The smoking gun, the receipt that makes this undeniable. He smiles, cold, determined. Let's find out what Anderson spent company money on personally. The board finds out someone's digging. April 25th. That morning, Wendy's phone rings at 2 p.m. She's asleep. Worked until 7 a.m. Manages 4 hours before the call wakes her. Unknown number. Miss Owens? Male voice. Professional. Sharp. This is Jonathan Klein from Morrison & Klein LLP. We represent Evergreen Properties. Are you available to speak? Wendy sits up. About what? We're calling regarding certain allegations that have come to our attention. Specifically, we understand you've been making claims about company financial improprieties and executive misconduct. I haven't made any claims. Then you deny requesting corporate financial records? My lawyer requested those. That's his job. Miss Owens, let me be direct. The board is prepared to take legal action if these baseless accusations continue. Defamation is a serious matter. So is stealing company money. Silence on the line. Then, you'll be receiving formal documentation shortly. He hangs up. The letter arrives that afternoon. Overnight delivery, 8 pages, Morrison & Klein LLP letterhead, cease and desist. Wendy reads it twice. The language is designed to intimidate, tortious interference, defamatory statements, irreparable harm to corporate reputation. They demand she stop making false accusations and attempting to interfere with board governance. Deadline. Respond within 10 business days or face litigation. Attached. A list of dates. Every shareholder meeting she missed from 2010 to 2024. 14 years. 56 meetings. They're calling it abandonment of shareholder responsibilities. Bailey reads it over the phone. Laughs. They're terrified. This is desperation. Doesn't feel desperate. Feels like they're going to bury me in legal fees. They're trying. They won't succeed. Everything we've done is legally protected shareholder activity. This letter is actually evidence of retaliation. What do I do? Nothing. I'll respond. Let me handle it. But the board doesn't stop there. May 1st, 2 days later. Richard Taylor calls Wendy directly. Her personal cell. She doesn't know how he got the number. Miss Owens, I think we got off on the wrong foot. His voice is smooth, conciliatory, fake. I'd like to meet, discuss this situation. I believe we can find a mutually beneficial resolution. I have nothing to discuss. Hear me out. The board recognizes your position as shareholder. We'd like to make you an offer. What offer? We're prepared to purchase your 87% stake, $2.8 million. Cash, immediate transfer, you can retire, take care of your granddaughter, no more mopping floors. The number sits in the air, $2.8 million. More money than Wendy's seen in her entire life. But Bailey already ran the valuation. Evergreen Properties is worth $7.2 million. 87% of that is $6.2 million. They're offering less than half what she owns. This offer expires in 48 hours, Taylor continues. After that, things get complicated. Legal battles, audits, public scrutiny. These things can destroy reputations, Miss Owens, yours included. Mr. Taylor, Wendy's voice is steel. My father didn't build this company to be sold to people who abuse it. The answer is no. You're making a mistake. So are you. She hangs up. That night, Ashley calls. 3 a.m. crying. Grandma, someone followed me. Wendy's blood freezes. What? After class, from campus to the parking lot. White guy, suit, just walking behind me. I got to the car and he kept walking, but Grandma, I'm scared. Where are you now? Home. I locked all the doors. I'm coming back. No, you're at work. I'm okay, Someone left a note on my windshield. What did it say? Ashley's voice shakes. Tell your grandmother to stop. Wendy's hands grip the phone so hard it hurts. Baby, listen to me. You're going to stay home tomorrow. I'm calling in sick. We're going to talk to Bailey and figure this out. Grandma, what did you do? I stood up. That's all. I just stood up. Ashley is crying again. Maybe you should stop. They're dangerous. They are. But that's exactly why I can't stop. After Ashley hangs up, Wendy sits in the basement storage room. Concrete walls, flickering fluorescent light. The building hums around her. They went after her granddaughter. Crossed that line. She thinks about walking away, taking the $2.8 million, disappearing. But then she thinks about Maria, about Carlos and Lynn, about every custodian, every maintenance worker, every low-wage employee who's been crushed by this system. If she walks away, nothing changes. Anderson keeps stealing. Taylor keeps hiding money offshore. The next black janitor gets humiliated the exact same way. Her father's voice in her head. Do the right thing. even when it costs you. She never understood how much it could cost. Now she does. Her phone buzzes. Text message, unknown number. Miss Owens, this is Gloria Davis, board member. We need to talk. I have something you need to see. Wendy stares at the text for 30 seconds, then replies, When? Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., same coffee shop you met Bailey. Come alone. Wendy doesn't know if this is a trap, doesn't know if Gloria's sincere or working for Taylor. But she's out of options. She texts back, I'll be there. 4 a.m. Wendy sits in the storage room, work forgotten, cart abandoned in the hallway. She holds her phone, stares at Ashley's last text. Please be careful, Grandma. I can't lose you too. The fluorescent light flickers overhead. Water drips from a pipe somewhere in the darkness. The HVAC system rumbles. Alone. She's been alone before, when her husband left, when her daughter died, when her father passed and left her a company she didn't know how to run. But this feels different. Heavier. Colder. They threatened Ashley. That line should never have been crossed. Wendy pulls out a photo from her wallet. Old, creased, faded. Her father. Construction site. 1994. Standing in front of steel beams. That smile. Pride and hope mixed together. He looked so young, so strong, so sure this would all work out. I'm trying, Dad, she whispers. But I don't know if I'm strong enough. The photo doesn't answer. Her phone rings. 3:15 a.m. Ashley. Grandma? Baby, what's wrong? I can't sleep. They keep calling. Who? I don't know. Unknown numbers. 12 times tonight. I answer and nobody talks. Just silence. Then they hang up. Wendy closes her eyes. Block the numbers. I did. They use new ones. I'm coming home. No, finish your shift. I needed to hear your voice. They sit in silence together, miles apart. Ashley in their apartment in Lentz, Wendy in a basement storage room downtown. Maybe they're right, Ashley says quietly. Maybe you should stop. You think I should give up? I think I already lost my mom. I can't lose you too. Wendy's throat closes. She can't breathe for a moment. Ashley, listen to me. Your mother died because a drunk driver ran a red light, random, senseless, nothing we could control. I know. But this I can control. These people are hurting workers deliberately, systematically. If I walk away, they win, and they'll do it to someone else tomorrow. But you've done enough. You've raised me, put me through school. You don't owe anyone anything. I owe your grandfather. He built this company for people like you, people trying to get an education, build a life. He wanted a place that treated everyone with dignity. He's gone, Grandma. But what he believed isn't... Ashley is crying now. I'm so scared. Me too, baby, me too. They stay on the line another 5 minutes, not talking, just breathing together. When Ashley finally hangs up, Wendy sits in the dark, the weight of it all crushing her chest. She thinks about her father. That hospital room. February 2009. The smell of disinfectant and dying. His last words to her. The company is yours now. You don't have to run it. Just watch over it. Make sure they remember what it was built for. What if I can't? She'd asked. You can. Because you know what matters. People, not profit. 15 years ago, she made a promise. She's kept it by watching, waiting, staying invisible. But watching isn't enough anymore. Wendy stands. Her knees ache. Her back hurts. She's 58 years old and tired in her bones. But she's not done. She picks up her phone, texts Gloria Davis. I'll be there 6 a.m. Then she finishes her shift. Every floor, every window, perfect. Because this room, nobody sees it. But it matters. The work matters. Her father taught her that. And tomorrow morning, she's going to show the board exactly what that means. 6 a.m. Hawthorne Coffee Shop. Gloria Davis sits in the back corner. 64 years old, gray hair pulled back, tired eyes. Expensive suit that doesn't quite hide how uncomfortable she looks. Wendy sits down across from her. Gloria slides a USB drive across the table. Everything's on here. 15 years of board emails, meeting minutes, financial reports, everything they tried to delete. Why? Because your father was my friend. Gloria's voice cracks. We went to Portland State together. Engineering program, 1972. He was my study partner, helped me pass thermodynamics, invited me to his wedding. She stares at her coffee. When he founded Evergreen, he asked me to join the board, to help protect what he built. I said yes. What happened? I failed him. I let Taylor and Anderson take over. Told myself it was just good business. Aggressive but legal. I was wrong. It was theft. And I stayed silent. Why tell me now? Because they threatened your granddaughter. That's where I draw the line. Gloria opens her laptop, shows Wendy an email, dated April 1st, 2024, from Taylor to the full board. Subject, damage control, Owens situation. The email is brutal. Recommend aggressive legal posture, isolate Owens from staff, consider buyout at discount. If refused, escalate pressure, use all available leverage. Receipt number 11. I didn't sign off on it, Gloria says, but I didn't stop it either. That makes me complicit. What do you want from me? Nothing. I'm giving you this because it's right, and because your father deserved better. Wendy takes the USB drive. What happens to you? I'll resign. Face whatever consequences come, but first, I'll make sure you have everything you need to take them down. Gloria stands, puts money on the table for both coffees. Your father used to say something. A building is only as strong as its foundation. He meant the people, the workers, not the executives. She looks at Wendy. Be the foundation he believed in. Then she's gone. Wendy sits alone. The USB drive weighs nothing, contains everything. Her phone buzzes. Text from Maria. First contact in 2 weeks. We're done being scared. Check your email. Wendy opens her work email. Attachment from Maria. PDF titled evergreen_employee_petition.pdf. She opens it. Starts reading. Can't stop. We, the undersigned employees of Evergreen Properties, formally request the Board of Directors investigate CEO Stephen Anderson for financial misconduct, workplace harassment, and retaliation against employees exercising their legal rights. 128 signatures, out of 150 total employees, 85%. Maria signed it. So did Carlos. Lynn workers from every floor, every department. People Wendy's never met. The petition was submitted that morning. To the board, to Oregon Labor Bureau, to the press. Maria texts again. You stood up for us, now we stand with you. Wendy's eyes blur. She doesn't cry easily. But this breaks something open. 15 years she's been invisible, alone, silent, not anymore. Her phone rings. Bailey. Did you see the Portland Tribune? No? Why? Page 6, business section. Evergreen Properties under scrutiny after employee complaints. They're running the story. It's starting, Wendy. She hangs up, stares at the USB drive. The petition, the news article. For 15 years, she fought alone. Now she has an army. May 3rd is 2 days away. Time to take back her father's company. April 29th, 3 days before the board meeting, Bailey's office, 7 p.m. Daniel Wright walks in carrying a cardboard box, 29 years old, accountant, 3 years at Evergreen, hands shaking. I can't stay silent anymore. He sets the box on Bailey's desk. Inside, 3 years of corporate credit card statements, 60 pages, every transaction highlighted in yellow. I photocopied these before they could destroy them. If they find out, I'm fired. Probably worse. But I have a daughter. She's 8. I want her to grow up in a world where this doesn't happen. Bailey starts reading. Gets to page 4. Stops cold. Jesus Christ. He spreads the statements across his desk, pulls out a calculator, starts adding. The numbers don't lie. Stephen Anderson, Corporate American Express, 3 years. Personal expenses charged to company funds. Category 1, vehicle, Tesla Model S 2022, $89,350. Expense code, executive transportation. DMV registration, personal vehicle, Stephen Anderson, home address. No business use logs, no mileage reports, nothing. Just $89,000 of shareholder money for his personal car. Category 2, travel, Maui vacation, 4 Seasons Resort, February 2023. 2 weeks, family suite, $31,200. Expense code, client development, Hawaii region. Evergreen Properties has 0 clients in Hawaii, never has. Instagram posts recovered from Anderson's private account show the truth. Beach photos, family selfies, Mai Tais by the pool, company paid for his vacation, Aspen ski trip, January 2024, $18,600, expense code, leadership retreat. No other employees attended, just Anderson and his family. Category 3, home renovation. This one makes Bailey physically angry. Morrison Construction LLC, owned by Daniel Morrison, same Morrison who runs Clean Pro, Same Morrison connected to board member Hayes. Work performed, August 2022 through March 2023, $120,400. Expense code, office renovation, executive suite. Building permits tell the real story. Filed with the city. Address, 1856 Oak Street, Portland. Anderson's home address. Residential permits, not commercial. Kitchen remodel, bathroom upgrades, new deck. All paid with company money. Total personal expenses, $259,550. All charged to Evergreen Properties. All coded as business expenses. All signed off by Anderson himself. I flagged this to the CFO last year, Wright says. She told me to reclassify and move on. When I pushed back, she said CEO discretion wasn't my concern. Bailey looks up. You're a hero. You know that? I'm terrified. They'll come after me. They will, but you just handed us the smoking gun. This isn't just kickbacks anymore. This is embezzlement, fraud, criminal misappropriation of corporate funds. He photographs every page, uploads them to secure cloud storage, makes 5 backup copies. Receipt number 12, the big one, the case ender. Bailey calls Wendy. Midnight. We have him. Have what? Everything. $259,000 in personal expenses, Tesla, vacations, home renovation, all charged to your company, all documented, all illegal. Silence on the line. Then, he bought a Tesla while I was taking the bus to afford Ashley's textbooks. I know. What happens now? Tomorrow I file a complaint with the district attorney, criminal charges. Then we walk into that board meeting with every receipt, every email, every bank statement, and you fire him. Can he fight it? With what? We have corporate credit card statements, building permits, Instagram posts, his own signature on every fraudulent expense report. There's no defense. Wendy is quiet for a long time. Bailey hears her breathing, thinking. Tom, she finally says, when I walk into that room, I want everyone to see. Every employee, every shareholder, every person who thought I was invisible. They will. No. I want them to see me fire him, myself, using Section 7.3. That's the plan. Then let's end this. May 3rd, 10 a.m., Evergreen Properties boardroom, 12th floor. 30 people sit in silence, 5 board members at the head table. Stephen Anderson in the center, his lawyer beside him, 10 senior employees, 12 custodial and maintenance staff, Maria, Carlos, Lynn, all requested to attend by Bailey. 1 reporter from Portland Tribune, notebook open. The air conditioning hums, someone coughs, nobody speaks. 10:02. The door opens. Wendy Owens walks in. Not in uniform, black suit, simple, professional, hair pulled back. She carries a leather folder under one arm. Bailey walks beside her. 30 heads turn. Anderson's face goes pale. He knows. Finally, he knows. Richard Taylor, board chair, stands. Miss Owens, this is a closed board session unless you have, Bailey cuts him off. Miss Owens is the majority shareholder, 87%. Under Section 7.3 of the company bylaws, she has the right to attend all board meetings and exercise immediate executive authority. He hands Taylor a document. The corporate registry. Wendy's name highlighted. Taylor's hand shakes reading it. Gloria Davis, the only board member who already knew, says quietly, "It's authentic, Richard. I verified it." Anderson stands. "This is absurd. She's a janitor. She can't—" "Sit down, Mr. Anderson." Wendy's voice cuts like ice. He sits. Bailey connects his laptop to the projector. The screen lights up behind Anderson's head. Slide 1. Oregon Corporation Commission filing, 1994. Wendy Elizabeth Owens, 87% shareholder. Slide 2. Email timeline. 2019. Keep silent shareholder quiet. 2021. Owens non-participant. 2023. Route proxies through chair. Slide 3. Clean Pro contract. $85,000 monthly. Market rate $21,000. 400% overcharge. Slide 4. Offshore account Cayman Islands. $1.2 million. Richard Taylor, beneficiary, slide 5. Anderson's personal expenses. Tesla, $89,000. Maui, $31,000. Home renovation, $120,000. Total, $259,000. Every slide backed by documents, bank statements, building permits, Instagram photos, corporate credit card records. The room is dead silent. Anderson's lawyer whispers in his ear. Anderson's face goes from pale to gray. Mr. Anderson. Wendy stands, opens her leather folder, pulls out the company bylaws. Let me show you what 15 years of mopping floors taught me. She walks to the head of the table, stands directly in front of him. Section 7.3, Company Bylaws, written by my father in 1994. Majority shareholders have the authority to remove officers for cause. No board vote required. No advance notice. She looks at every board member, then back to Anderson. You stole from this company. You abused your position. You disrespected every worker in this building. You humiliated me in front of 20 employees because you thought I was nobody. 3 seconds of silence. Stephen Anderson. I am exercising my authority as majority shareholder of Evergreen Properties. She sets the bylaws on the table in front of him. You are fired, effective immediately. Anderson opens his mouth. Nothing comes out. His lawyer tries. The board has to vote. Section 7.3 is clear, Bailey says. No vote required. His employment is terminated. Wendy looks at the board. Does anyone wish to challenge this decision in court? All evidence will become public record. Gloria Davis. I support the decision. Richard Taylor stares at the offshore account slide. Says nothing. The other 3 board members stay silent. Mr. Anderson, Wendy says. Leave. He stands, legs shaking, walks to the door, stops, turns back. You're just I'm the owner. Wendy's voice doesn't rise, doesn't need to. And you're fired. The door closes behind him. Nobody moves for 10 seconds. Then Maria stands, starts clapping. Carlos joins her. Then Lynn. Then all 12 custodial staff. Then the reporter. Then everyone except Taylor and 2 board members. Wendy doesn't smile, just nods once. This company was built by my father to serve people, not to enrich executives who think workers are invisible. That ends today. She looks around the room. Every person in this building, from CEO to custodian, will be treated with dignity, because the work matters, the person matters. That's what my father believed. That's what I believe. The applause continues. Wendy picks up her folder, walks to the door, stops beside her father's portrait on the wall, touches the frame, just once, then leaves. 3 months later, August 2024. The independent audit finishes. Total theft. $1.38 million. Additional violations found. More than Bailey expected. District attorney files charges. Stephen Anderson faces trial in 2025. Embezzlement. Fraud, breach of fiduciary duty, faces 15 years if convicted. Richard Taylor resigns under investigation. 2 other board members follow. Gloria Davis becomes interim CEO. Wendy declines the position. I'm not qualified to run a company, but I know who is. Company changes happen fast. Custodial wages, $16 to $24 per hour. Portland living wage, effective immediately. Clean Pro contract terminated. Services brought in-house, fair pay, fair treatment, employee profit sharing, 10% of annual profits distributed to all staff, everyone, equally. Education fund established, employee family scholarships. Ashley receives the first one, full ride, Portland State nursing program. And Wendy, 11 p.m., Tuesday night. She clocks in, badge 003, pushes her cart down the marble hallway. Floor 11, Maria walks beside her now. They clean together, equal pay, equal respect. You're the owner, Maria says. You don't have to do this. Wendy sprays the glass, wipes it clean. I know, but this is honest work. It has dignity, and I want to remember that. She stops at her father's portrait, polishes the brass plaque, smiles. They saw a black janitor. She owned the building. But more than that, she owned her truth. And that's something nobody can take away. If this story moved you, tell us in the comments. When did you realize Wendy wasn't who they thought she was? And if you believe everyone deserves dignity at work, no matter their job, hit that subscribe button. Because stories like Wendy's need to be told. Like this video if you believe in justice. Subscribe to see more stories where the underestimated win. And share this if someone you know needs to hear it. They saw a mop. She owned everything.